Hi, this is Jenna.
And this is Heather.
And this is Conspiracies Unlocked. And today we are going to continue reviewing the book 1984 by George Orwell. We are on Chapter 1, Part 5. And if you haven't already, go back to the intro of the book 1984 and start over there. So we last left off, Winston was at work, and we got a little idea of his work life and what was going on there. And now it is time for lunch. So they start with him going into the cafeteria, lunch hall, to get his lunch rations, regulatory lunch rations. He's first approached by a friend named Syme. It's S-Y-M-E. So we were trying to decide if it's Sim or Syme.
We're going with Syme.
I think Syme. I think it's probably shortened for Simon, maybe.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
That way it's, yeah. But of course there's no friends allowed, so he's a comrade. But even then, you don't really get any sort of relationship with anybody. You can't be close to anybody. So I would almost put it that it's just an acquaintance. Yeah. That's the best that you can get in this world. Like, you don't really know anybody. So, Syme is a philologist. So pretty much he's a specialist in newspeak. So he is currently working on the 11th edition of the newspeak dictionary.
Yeah, he works in the research department.
Yeah, and so he's just redoing all the dictionaries, making up words, deleting old words. The first thing that we hear from Syme is about the razor blade famine, because he is asking Winston for razor blades, and Winston says, "No, sorry, dude, I haven't. I've been using the same razor for 6 weeks."
Oh yeah, they have.
Even though he has some hoarded, but apparently there's a whole famine in razor blades for whatever reason. Which made me think of the random shit that we don't get in our world today. Like, it was baby formula 6 months ago.
Yeah, that's true.
And
toilet paper.
Well, that was different.
Yeah.
I don't even think we had a famine of that. I think the problem with that was everybody bought it so quickly that there was people who were probably sitting on
they were hoarding it. That's why I thought of it, because he's hoarding two, which is not the same.
Having two as opposed to, they just flat don't have it. Like, stores just don't have it for them. And what else I thought of was medicine.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, for now. Us
no,
now.
I know. Yeah.
Because I didn't have my Adderall from September.
Wow.
Until it just came in. I got it in January. So I had to ration out myself. And instead of doing the 10 XR, I had to split that in half, or quarters, or go a day. And and so for somebody with ADD, not having the Adderall is it's like night and day, as far as and I never really realized it until I got older, that it affects my impulse control. Severely. Yeah. So and not impulse like a little kid gonna go up and hit somebody because they're pissed. It's impulse buying, impulse.
Oh, sure.
Impulse getting angry quick, but now I'm an adult, so when I get angry, it's more of revenge and not healthy. And it's just not good. And so why were we having a famine? Because they can't make prescriptions here.
Well, it happened too. We had a resident at the, I work at the care facility with hospice patients, and we have a patient who needed codeine for her cough. It was a cough suppressant with codeine. Yeah. And we had to let her know, hey, there is a shortage of codeine right now of this prescription, and she had to worked itself out, but even our patients are experiencing it. Yeah,
what my doctor had to do was go in and say, okay, just get the 5XR under this brand. Try this brand. And it took that long to go back and forth, see what they had. My husband bought me 6 pills in December because I was out by Christmas time. I was gone. And so he bought me 7 pills of extended release just to get it. And then he bought me, that was a fast action. And then He bought me the XR, and because of the brand and because of the whatever bullshit, he paid $267 for it.
Oh, yeah.
But he was done with my, like, erratic impulses, and he's all like, here, yes, I will pay anything just to make this bitch right.
Yes, he's like, let's do this. I know, and
I literally had, like, 2 pills left, so it was like, and we couldn't get anything else, and I didn't get anything more until, I think it was, like, January 20th before I was able to fill a real prescription without.
And there's a lot of medications like that are having a shortage. It's not just those. I mean, there's many right now.
Yeah, I think
I don't understand
blood pressure medicine, and it's because they're getting it from other countries. And I think that has something to do with that. Like, maybe other countries are, like, boycotting us or something now. I don't know. They're trying to, like, cut us off.
The supply chain was not.
The supply chain has not been right since COVID, and they keep blaming it on COVID, and it's like, dude, fuck off. It's something else. So, I don't know. Anyway, so that just made me think of all that, because that's
definitely
crazy.
It goes with what's going on in our world right now.
Yeah. And so back to the book, we find out that they seem to always be out of something, anything. But they can always get stuff off the free market. If they really needed something, they would have to pay more, and the free market is pretty much like the peasant market, where he's not really allowed to fraternize there. Yeah. That's where he got the diary and the pen in the first chapter, or the first part.
True.
And then now they're eating, and Syme went into detail of what he liked about the hanging.
Oh yeah, he asked him if he had watched the hanging.
Yeah, dude, and then he went into detail. Oh my gosh, it was so gross. Like, he was, like, excited about it. It was like he was getting off on it. It was so not anything nice.
Yeah,
it's kind of weird. It made me feel, like, not okay.
Yeah, Winston was just like, I was working. I'll see it on the flicks, I suppose. Like, probably see it, like, a rerun or, like, later,
Yeah.
But, Syme was saying that it was a really good hanging, and that he thinks it's spoiled when they tie their feet together.
Because then they can't
he likes to see them kicking. And above all, at the end of the tongue sticking out, turning blue, turning bright blue. And that is the detail that really appeals to him.
Yeah, and it just, like, it made me feel so icky to read it. I was like, oh my gosh. And this is, like, and Syme gets worse as we go, just his personality and how, like, it's almost like a sickening brainwash, but it's worse than brainwash, I think, as we get further into
He's very, what's the word? Not demonic, it's, sadist or something.
Yeah,
like
he's
sadist. He gets off on it. And then the thing that's really weird to me is that this is the similar hangings that the children would
That
watch.
was the exact same one that he's talking about. They keep referring.
You're right.
They keep referring, because this is only the next day.
Yeah, this is the
next day.
Yeah, I know. So I forgot.
After the kids hanging, yeah.
But this is the one that the kids were all excited that they wanted to watch.
But they didn't get to, and they're all pissed because they didn't get to watch it, so they're being,
Exactly.
So
that's pretty disgusting.
So they got their lunch, and the regulation lunch
it sounded so disgusting.
It's so gross. So
they described it as a pink gray stew with a hunk of bread, a cube of cheese, and a mug of milkless Victory coffee.
And 1 Saturnine tablet.
What is this?
I'm not sure.
Like a multivitamin or something?
Maybe. That would make sense. So, they're eating, and
of course Syme wants to eat underneath the telescreen.
Oh, really? I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah, he says there's a table over there under the telescreen.
And then let's pick up our gin on the way. So you could get a little thing of, it's Victory gin. It's synthetic. It said later on that it's like crap synthetic gin. And they get, like, I would imagine, like, a shot, and it's 10 cents.
I mean, I throw it in the coffee. The coffee doesn't have any milk in it. At least, like...
At least it can have a little kick.
Yeah, like a... What do they call it? Like, a Mexican coffee has, like, tequila or something in it? Or, like, I don't know what they put in it.
I don't know, but I think British tea has something in it. Yeah, the Brits are very happy after tea time.
That would make sense why they have so many tea times.
So then this is when Syme really goes into detail about the 11th edition to the dictionary, and he said that it was fascinating. like, quote unquote, fascinating,
Yeah.
and how boring the new world is. And then he went on to say that he was deleting words, hundreds of them, and this would be the new definitive language, and there will be far less words by 2050. However, so really pause there. I think that they're just telling him that it's going to be this, like, end, this is like the final, but in 10 years they're going to be like, just kidding, let's come out with the 12th edition, or 15 years later. It's never going to end. It's always going to be a cycle to continue on, and he'll tell you why.
Well, he says that he's slowly working on it, and right now he's working on the adjectives, and that he finds it fascinating.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, like, he really likes working on the adjectives. But the other thing is that the way that they are getting rid of the old speak is they are just eliminating words, like you said. So, like, say, like, a word, for example, they use the word good. He says a word contains its opposite in itself. Take good, for instance. If you have a word like good, what is there a need for bad? You would just say ungood. Like, you wouldn't say, you would just say ungood.
Yeah.
That would be it.
And that would be just as well as better, because it's an exact opposite. Yeah. Which the other is not. Or again, if you want a stronger version of good, what sense is there in having a whole string of vague, useless words like excellent and splendid and all the rest of them? Plus good covers the meaning, or double plus good if you want something stronger still.
Yeah.
It's so, like, weird. So they're trying to minimize the language so much, and they and then also he said it's a beautiful thing, the destruction of words. He said that in the top.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was, like, how he went into it.
Did. Yeah, he likes destruction.
Yeah, he is such a sadist. And then he says, well, it was BB's idea originally, with Big Brother's idea.
Yeah.
But then there was so when Simon is talking about Big Brother, did you notice how Winston had such, like, disdain over it, and he was just super aloof, and Simon could see it on his face.
And the thing is that's not good, because Simon he's one of the people that you have to watch out for, because he will report you.
Yeah, exactly.
He will report you in a heartbeat,
because he wants to watch you hanged.
Probably.
And then Simon also says, do you know that Newspeak is the only language in the world whose vocabulary gets smaller every year? Don't you see that the whole aim of Newspeak is to narrow the range of thought? In the end, we shall make thought crime literally impossible, because there will be no words in which to express it. Every concept that can ever be needed will be expressed by exactly one word, with its meaning rigidly defined and all its subsidiary meanings rubbed out and forgotten. Every year, fewer and fewer words, and the range of consciousness always a little smaller. Yeah. And I had to reread that to be like, is this Winston talking to Simon, being like, dude, this shit's bad? No, that's Simon.
No, he's excited about it.
He's excited about
it. He wants it.
He's, and I'm like, how? What? So, like, pretty much like every freedom would just be gone.
Well,
like,
yeah, because
there's no freedom of speak. There's no freedom of speak. Now I'm speaking of you speak.
There's no freedom of speak. Yes.
Yes. No.
It made sense. It made sense to me when you said that. Because reading this book, it does
freedom of speech.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's just he's just excited. I can't get over how excited he is. And then he's talking about how every literature will be destroyed by 2050, like 2050, and that Shakespeare, and he names off all these other people that I don't really know, but will be in Newspeak. So instead of where thou shall my Juliet be, or Romeo, Romeo, it'll just be like, yo, Juliet, where you at? Like,
it's all about self-discipline and reality control is what he said too.
And he's excited about it. And he's okay with it, and he's actively going with it. Like, he's just fine with taking away the world's freedom.
But too,
that's what I'm saying. It has to be more than a brainwash thing. There's something else going on.
It's control. It's also to erase the past.
Is it him wanting to be in control, or is it the Big Brother controlling him that much that he doesn't even know that he's being controlled at this point, even though he's using the correct terminology of someone that is being controlled?
I think that he's just lived like that. That's just
indoctrinated into him.
Yeah.
Like,
it's just engraved in him. That's just, he thrives in it. He loves it. I don't know. There's no other really reason why he would be so excited about it, you know?
Yeah, for sure. What I thought was funny was while Winston was still eating with Syme, he was thinking about how Syme will definitely get vaporized soon because Syme lacked, I don't know why I can't talk. Syme lacked discretion. So he's like going around just telling everybody everything.
Well, he also said he's too intelligent. And
he's too smart, yeah.
He speaks too clearly, too plainly, and the party does not like such people. One day he will disappear.
Yeah. And then you have to think he has a knowledge of the inside. He has a knowledge of like so much stuff, and for him to just go about like speaking freely, he's a threat to the inside. So that's why Winston is like, he's gonna be vaporized. There's no question about it. He's just too smart. So all of a sudden Parsons comes up, and if we remember, Parson lives in the Victory Apartments. He's a neighbor to Mrs. Parsons, who we saw last part, or a few parts ago.
With the sink.
With the kids, and he fixed the sink. And so now this is Mr. Parsons. And he was, Mr. Parsons wanted to get some money from him as a donation, or it's not a donation. It's almost like taxes, because a quarter of everyone's paycheck has to go towards quote unquote voluntary subscriptions, and this one was for Hate Week. So it's almost like taxes, but you're quote unquote volunteering it.
You don't really have a choice.
But you don't have a choice, but they want to make it look like, oh, look, you do have this one freedom, but you don't. And then Parsons was telling a story about his 7-year-old girl. Did you read this part? And how she got 2 other girls to stray. She was on a hike, on her spy troop hike. And she got 2 other little girls to tail a guy and walking through the woods for 2 hours, and then turned him in for being a spy.
I mean, they start young.
Yeah, she's 7 years old. Could you imagine? So she just like left her troop on this hiking trail and just was like, hey, cool, come on girls, she like led the pack. And she followed this guy for 2 hours, stalking him, and then turned him in. Because Parsons had said, oh, maybe he came by helicopter. Somehow the little girl verified that he was definitely a spy and bad and enemy and not good.
Yeah, but it just goes with what the kids in the last part were, you know, how they were yelling, traitor, traitor, thought criminal, and, playing like that because that's how they're raised with the youth league and then the spies. It's just the way of life for these children. They don't really have a childhood at all. They just have it's like they become adults so young. It seems like by the age of like 7, 8, 9 they're already spies.
And they're already like turning in their parents, and they're already you're already supposed to be like fearful of them because they might.
But then the thing is, that makes sense because they annihilate your parents when you're so young, and then when they annihilate the parent, when they turn them in, and then it's easier for the children to not remember their past. Yeah. Because they don't have a long time with their parents. The parents don't really raise them like here, we're raised until 18 usually. Like that's the norm, right?
Yeah.
And that's not how it is there. You have a parent until like maybe 10? 10. If you're lucky.
Well, but then again, I think that when Winston
between the wars that happened,
well, yeah,
they could die
all
that way.
And everything.
Or getting annihilated.
Right. Yeah.
They don't really have a chance.
Away. Yeah, so they have to grow up quick, just in case your parents do get vaporized.
Because even if you don't turn them in, your comrade, one of your little spy comrades could from the youth league. You know?
It's so crazy. So then the telescreen disrupted their lunch, and a lady came on, and I'm gonna say this word for word. I'm gonna read like this whole paragraph because it's a lot. Comrades. Attention, comrades, we have glorious news for you. We have won the battle for production. Returns now completed of the output of all classes of I can't read or speak. Consumption goods show that the standard of living has risen by no less than 20% over the past year. All over Oceania this morning, there were irrepressible, spontaneous demonstrations when workers marched out of factories and offices and paraded through the streets with banners voicing their gratitude to Big Brother for the new happy life which his wise leadership has bestowed upon us. Here are some of the completed figures. And the phrase our new happy life kept going on. Like, so she's going through all the figures and the stats and all the bullshit, just repeating our new happy life. And I'm sorry, but if they want to do newspeak, those are big fucking words to be like.
Well, remember, he's still working on the next edition, so.
I'm like, as I'm reading that out loud right now, it's like, what the fuck?
You need to compress these.
How are they going to compress all that spontaneous, irrepressible, spontaneous demonstration? Like, what the fuck? They're contradicting themselves. So what I was wondering is,
he is working on adjectives. There's a lot of describing words there.
Are they, so maybe instead of like skinny, it would be like skinny plus skinny. More plus? Skinny plus. No skinny.
I don't even know.
Less skinny.
More chunk.
Less skinny, more chunk. It sounds like you're ordering a coffee. I want skinny milk.
Oh yeah.
Skinny latte.
I was just thinking skinny latte.
So what I'm wondering is, so there's not rioting, opposite of rioting. Unrioting. I'm reading this book too much.
Unwriting?
Unrioting.
Unwritten?
No, unrioting.
Oh, rioting.
Because it's the opposite.
Oh, I thought you meant
rioting.
writing, like in a journal. I was like, what are we talking about? Where are we? I'm so confused now.
Yeah. So, celebrating in a parade.
The parade.
Yeah. Okay. So I wonder if they're just saying that they're celebrating and stuff, but really the workers are just like, psh, whatever. Because how would they even know? How would Winston know? The telescreen could be telling these people things, and then telling like other sections, like the lower class people, something totally different.
Yeah,
it could be a total like mindfuck, like worse than we thought mindfuck. I
was imagining when I read that part, I was imagining that they were televising the people with the banners.
Oh, bullshit! And I don't think so.
Marching and
no, I think that she's just on here just talking.
I mean, they could be actors, you know,
because they do have the actors for the records department and all that.
Actors.
Yeah. So I don't trust anything that telescreen says anymore. I've lost all trust. And then the day before, Winston remembers that the day before the chocolate ration dropped. Remember, all this happened. We haven't even gone through a full 24 hours of Winston's life yet in this book.
This is freaking lunch break.
Yes, this is lunch break. We started the book and he was leaving work, getting his diary.
Yeah.
All this shit. Oh, I guess no, because he did have his lunch break yesterday with Mrs. Parsons. Oh, no, that was just him being at home in the evening. That wasn't even a lunch break. And now we haven't even done a full fucking day in his life.
You're going to have more than one meal break. So
yeah, that was dinner break.
Lunch, dinner, whatever. It's a meal break.
Okay, basically. So anyways, now, so Winston remembered the day before that the chocolate ration dropping.
Yes.
And then now now it's back up that quickly, and Winston couldn't believe that people were quote unquote eating this up. Like, are they really believing this? And maybe because they had taken away 20 or 30 grams yesterday, and then today they've given back 20, and everyone's celebrating, woohoo, we got back our chocolate, we got back this, we got back that. What if they really wanted to take away 10 in overall? So they said yesterday, 30 are gone, so then everyone would be like, what the fuck? And then all of a sudden come back with the good news. Oh no, we're up 20, everything's good. And then they're like, we love Big Brother, yay!
Yeah, it's just a control thing.
But really, you're 10 less than what you started with yesterday morning.
Yeah.
But you're happy now.
It's just a way to control the people, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, even it says with his tobacco ration, he gets 100 grams a week, and it was seldom possible to fill a pipe up to the top. Yeah. And Winston was smoking his Victory cigarette, where he was like very carefully holding it so like nothing would fall out, because the new ration does not start until the next day.
Yeah.
And so he only had 4 cigarettes left. And for you smokers out there,
And that's probably not even full cigarette, because if it doesn't even fill the pipe, then it's probably like four, like
could be
drags.
4 puffs or whatever.
4 puffs, yeah.
But like 4 cigarettes is not a lot, like for a daily smoker. You know, I mean, depending on how much you smoke, it can vary. But it makes perfect sense why he's being very delicate and gentle with it, because he does not want to spill a little drop of it. You know.
Yeah, he doesn't want a little tobacco flake to go anywhere. So then the telescreen also continued with telling all the amazing stats from last year, how better everyone was now, and all the great things Big Brother has done for them. Winston looked around and knew this was bullshit, because he looked around at like what he was in, and everything was grimy. The room was so crowded, it was suffocating. The ceiling was low. Their trays that they were using, that they were eating their food off of, was dented. It was like chipped white coffee mugs. The gin was synthetic. And then he's thinking about like how the houses are falling to the ground. They don't even have socks or underwear, half the people, because they can't afford it because they're like, well, fuck it, we'll just have, we need shirts and pants more than we need a sock.
I feel like too, they have to use their clothing rations on their uniforms.
Yeah,
and they have to keep their uniforms
and that's
pristine,
why Winston doesn't
so
even
they don't
have
have the undergarments.
Yeah. And he didn't remember before this, but he knew that it wasn't like this. Like, something is not right. This is not okay. Big Brother is not helping. Like, Winston seems to be like the only person.
I'm surprised that people aren't. I don't know how often people are sick. They haven't really got into like the health of the community yet. But I feel like people would be sick all the time living in this like grimy.
But I mean, if they don't have anything to make sickness out of. If you don't have anything,
I mean, there's got to have some kind of germs,
bacteria or something. I don't know.
Stuff. Yeah.
So I don't know, because everything is all dusty and stuff.
I just feel like we're going to get to a point in the book where people are going to start getting really sick. Just the way
maybe.
They describe everything.
Yeah,
the
it would make sense.
And like,
so Parsons praised the Ministry of Plenty, and in the same breath asked Winston if he had any razors.
Again with the razors.
But he's like, oh my God, they've done so much for us.
Yeah.
The Ministry of Plenty. And then he's like, oh, by the way, you got any razors? We ain't got none. Awkward. Like, I literally have awkward. Obviously, Mini Plenty is actually sucking and not providing shit.
They're not providing.
So everything, all the stats that the telescreen lady just gave is bullshit.
Well, it's always bullshit.
I know.
You can't believe anything the telescreen
That's what I just said. I'm starting to not believe shit.
No, you can't.
Nobody can believe anything. So, and then all of a sudden, Winston looks around and he sees a girl with dark brown hair.
The girl.
And the girl was at the hate week thing, or the 2 minutes of hate the night before.
Well, she keeps sitting really close to him. She's staring at him. She's like very intrigued, or something's up.
Yeah, and he was like, dude, am I paranoid? Is this real? Do I have a stalker? Is she part of the thought police?
She's very suspicious.
Yeah. And so then he says how you can't think freely anywhere, because you can't even like think in your head, because if you like a simple tick or flutter of the eye or anything that is like physically, any facial gesture could provoke the attention of the thought police, and it was called a face crime.
The face crime.
They actually, and you have a name, face crime. And you know what that made me think of? A TV show. Have you seen it, Lie to Me?
No.
So it's a TV show. It's kind of like NCIS kind of, or whatever. Brad watched it. There's only 3 seasons of it. He just finished. I'm sure he's going through withdrawal. And the guy can like tell when somebody's lying.
Ooh, okay,
and
that's
it's like a
interesting.
whole thing. And so they'll be like, oh, that's shame, because the people will like look down. Remember, you were at my house when Bill Clinton, and they referred to that.
Oh, yeah.
How they look down for the shame. And the different, like if you look up and to the right, that means that you're telling us. I don't really know what it is. I'm just giving examples. Or your hands. If your hands are like this, you're disclosing something. If your hands are cupped, like things like that.
I do like true crime, and I have watched a lot of interrogation videos, and then like over the video it'll have like the expert saying, well, they knew that person was lying because not only does their story change often, but the mannerisms and the way that they're looking and presenting themselves. Yeah. And then when the interrogating officer or detective steps out, their demeanor completely changes, and then it's just like it's not matching with being truthful. And then I also watch on YouTube, I like to watch the
So it's like a real lie to me thing.
Yeah, it's like the facial expressions and stuff, and I was like,
I've seen.
Do I do that? Like, have I seen people do that? Like, I'm a pretty honest person, but I mean, like, if I make that face, is somebody going to think I'm lying? Because I just make a lot of faces.
I know,
I
we're
can't help
super
it.
animated.
Yeah, like I can't hide my facial expressions. Like if I'm happy or sad or mad, like you're gonna know it.
Yeah, for
like,
sure.
I don't know how to hide it. Like
No.
I just can't even minimize it most of the time.
Just like the people who are like celebrity facial people or whatever during the Johnny Depp trial thing whatever they had
Amber Heard.
Yeah, Amber Heard. They had professional people that were coming in being like, and when Amber Heard looked down to the left, she was showing shame and and trying to like body language read her, you know, and they do that with the royals all the time too.
That is very intriguing to me.
Yeah, so
I really do. I find that interesting, especially with the true crime aspect of it all.
For sure. So then Parsons was telling a story about his kids, and he was super proud. And it was about a lady who used a paper with Big Brother on it and wrapped a sausage.
Oh God, yes, that was kind of sad.
So proud of it.
But that was sad.
Yeah, and no, it was really fucked up.
Disturbing, actually.
Yeah, and more
than anything.
So the spies, which happened to be his kids, lit her skirt on fire and burned her. And Parsons was so proud of his kids.
Yeah, so they basically set this woman ablaze because she had papers on her that she wasn't supposed to have tucked underneath her skirt, right?
No,
or
she was wrapping sausage with using the paper. You know how you use newspaper to like wrap things?
I don't know where I saw the word skirt in here. Yeah, maybe she was wearing a skirt. I saw something about a skirt.
They lit the skirt on fire.
Oh yeah, they did light the skirt.
That's
okay.
They lit the skirt on fire and burned her. Because she was wrapping, like, you know how like whenever you go to like Subway or whatever, they wrap it in paper. It's like
for
that.
For some reason, when I read the book, I imagined that like she like somehow there was papers like in a pocket in her skirt or something, like a part of it. I don't know why I associated that.
I don't know.
No, I probably just read it wrong, which is totally fine because I'm sure I did. But it makes more sense that they just lit her skirt on fire because they're just trying to. That was probably a very flammable, easy thing to light. Like they just went for the skirt. It's very flowy. Yeah, flowy. They can just get it real quick. You know?
Just to be like, you're not. That's bad. You can't disgrace Big Brother like that. That's how I took it.
I mean, regardless of what part they caught on fire, like they caught her on fire.
They set a lady on fire for disgracing Big Brother. And
pretty fucking hardcore.
Then the bell rang from the telescreen. Lunchtime was over, and they went back to work. Did you have anything else about that chapter? That part?
The only thing I wanted to say that it does say, I don't know if you already said this, and I was talking, I didn't hear, but it says it was terribly dangerous to let your thoughts wander when you were in any public place within range of the telescreen. Every time it says that, it just gives me like chills.
Yeah, that's the thought crime.
The thought crime, yeah.
Yeah, that's...
Which I know we've already discussed, but it's just every time I hear that, I'm just like, ooh.
Yeah, no, you have a lot of stuff highlighted. That's why I'm like, what else do you have? Because,
the only thing else I have is just with the toy, with the trumpet, the ear trumpet.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even do that. You do that.
Yeah, so basically, after they discussed the burning of the woman, he went on to say about the ear trumpets, which basically are used for listening through keyholes. And he went on to say his little girl brought one home the other night, and she tried it out in the sitting room door, and she could hear twice as much as with her regular ear, without using it. And of course, it's only a toy, but it still gives them the right idea, eh? It's already like he's just instilling that even more so, like to spy and to listen, and it's just a toy. But he says, at this moment, the telescreen, like you said, let out a piercing whistle, and it was a signal to go back to work.
But whenever you think about toys with kids, I always like my kids. They play with trucks and cars and dinosaurs, and they have a vet kit. They play doctor, they play kitchen.
Yeah, you are teaching them things.
They play things. They don't play Like, I mean, yeah, they do have little toy guns and they play whatever, but it's a roundabout thing. It's not just spy gear that they're playing with, you know?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, my kids still play cops and robbers or whatever, but they're not... That's not the only thing they play with. This is all they have. This is it. They only have war toys.
And then the sad part of the ending of this part is that during all of this, when Winston is listening to this man go on about all this horrible stuff, his fucking remaining of his tobacco fell out of his cigarette. I know! He lost his tobacco.
I read that too after all the bullshit.
I don't even like cigarettes. I don't even. I don't smoke.
It's just having to like ration anything.
But I just felt so bad for him because I used to be a smoker and I know what it's like when you lose that last, you know, like
yeah. Even if it's not a cigarette, even if it's something else, anything else, like
anything that you want
that you have rationed out, whether it's like like the other day I got curly fries from Jack in the Box and it spilled all over the floor because I put it on the counter and then it all like spilled onto the ground and I was like, nope, can't eat those. We're done. Damn.
Yep.
A whole thing of curly fries. Damn.
Wah wah.
Yeah.
Sad day.
Yep.
So that's the end of the chapter or the part 5.
Because there's so many parts.
Chapter 1, part 5.
Yes.
That's a wrap.
So don't forget to
share, like, and subscribe, and you can find us on most of your favorite places where you listen to your podcast because we should be
everywhere.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.